What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad, Sean, and today, reactions to the classics. We're continuing our series as we go through and rank the songs on every Beatles record from worst to best. Up today, we got one that I've been looking forward to for a while.
This is the one I've been looking forward to.
It's time for Revolver. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Tough task here, and I know one of our favorite records of all time.
Yeah, I had number one on my list whenever we compiled an RTTC list. Might as well get into this thing. It's the 7th of 12 UK album, released in August 1966. The first album where they did it and didn't have to worry about going and performing these songs in concert. And they spent 220 hours recording this. That's excluding mixing and engineering and all that. Just 220 compared to 80 for Rubber Soul.
I think this is where we really start to see, as you were kind of mentioning, the studio being an instrument, so to speak, and obviously leaning heavily into that psychedelic music influences here.
Yeah, all kinds of music on here. And, you know, McCartney even had a quote saying, "We've done sounds on Revolver that no one's ever done, ever." That's how he put it. And, you know, it's the introduction, you said there's so many studio tricks. I know a lot of people think Peppers is the album where it was really innovative, but this is really the album that was innovative, and they really turned things on in this one. ADT, Vera speeding, all kinds of stuff. And guys, if you want to know more about that, we actually did a podcast on Revolver.
That's right.
It's about an hour long, so check out the podcast below and check out our album review. We go very much in depth on the album reviews if you want to know more about this album. But Trey, we might as well kick this thing off.
What was your number 14?
Trey, I have no idea. I have no idea what any of your other stuff is. I know what your 1 is, I'm guessing, and I know what your 14 is, and your 14 is Yellow Submarine.
You were correct.
By my boy Ringo. And look, it's a fun song, man.
It is.
It's like Obla Dee, Obla Da for me. Like, it's a fun song, right? It'd be a fun sing-along song. It puts a smile on my face. But on this album, which, as I said, I believe is the greatest album of all time, you know, it's 14, man. It is what it is. They wrote it for Ringo. It's a Ringo. It fits him perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it, man.
And I mean, releasing it here in the States as a single after the whole, John Bigger Than Jesus comment.
Yeah, we'll put Ringo out here and roll out Yellow Submarine.
I like the aquatic sound effects, and, it's very catchy, sing-alongy, and, it kind of works as a bit of fun on the record.
Yeah,
but,
and they didn't take it seriously when so they were in the studio looking for stuff to bang together, yelling out in the hallway to make the noise. It's like, yeah, it's just a fun song.
Oh, yeah.
So that was easy. There's no drama there, Trey. What do you got at number 13?
Number 13, going to be my first Paul tune here. I'm going Good Day Sunshine.
I knew you would. I knew you would, man.
I still enjoy this tune.
Yeah,
I think one of the happiest tunes that the Beatles ever penned. I quite enjoy that piano melody that opens up the song, kind of builds that anticipation. And, Paul sounds quite happy when he's delivering these lyrics.
And Paul sang the lead vocal and played piano, had Ringo on drums, and then he overdubbed the bass, Lennon and Harrison, on the harmonies here, and Martin played the piano solo. I remember when we did the top 100 songs and we fought over this, because I really fought for this song. And upon listening to it again, I kind of see what you were saying. Like, I like it. It puts a smile on my face.
It's a good summer tune as well.
It's a good summer tune, but it's not a great song. I mean, in comparison to a lot of others on here. I have it at number 11, but that was kind of my take on it. My number 13 is Love You Too by Mr. Harrison. We'll get into this on this album, and I'll mention what happened, but there's several of these songs where not everybody's on it. Set that table for the White Album where, 16 of the 30 didn't have everyone on it, but mainly George just used Indian musicians for this, and this is the true Indian sound. We had Norwegian wood, but now he's really embracing what he's going to be. Still a good tune.
Oh, just definitely.
Something's got to be 13.
No, I have that actually a decent amount higher, so I'll save it till then.
What do you got at 12?
My number 12, Call the Doctor, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my number 12.
Oh, nice. Dr. Robert here. I think you have a great double track vocal by Lennon, and there's again just the lyricism about the talk about. This is where we really get those odes to drugs on multiple.
If you need something, man, all you got to do is go see Dr. Robert.
I quite enjoyed the bridge where you get a little softer, like well. I really enjoy that by Lennon here. Maybe a bit, if you really want to nitpick, maybe a bit weaker lyrically than some of the other John tunes, and that's why it's here where it is. But I'm with you, Dad. I really enjoy every tune on here. So this was a tough exercise.
Well, and on that, you said it, Trey. That's what you got to do. You got to nitpick, right? Because there's so many of these that are so close because they're so good. It's like, well, okay, I guess that's why. I already said my 11, Trey. It's Good Day Sunshine. So go ahead and go again.
Well, maybe a bit of a controversial pick, but I'm going Andrew Bird Can Sing.
I got it at 10, so not that controversial for me.
That's a bit of that psychedelic, jangly Harrison riff that mingles well with Paul's infectious bass line. Lennon's pretty brash on this one. Harkens back to that charisma that he has. I wish it was longer. It's only like 2 minutes on the dot, so.
It is, and Lennon later said it's another one of those throwaways, fancy paper around an empty box, but that was him. It does have that dual guitar melody, which kind of makes this song stand out. I just like it because it's John at his most brash.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's either a response to Frank Sinatra, who basically said in a publications for his upcoming TV show at the time, TV special, something like, if you're tired of these youngsters with their hair as thick as mops, this is what I like to believe it is, you know, even though the Beatles got along with the Stones, you know,
yeah.
I mean, they cross paths on, you know, songs, and they're sitting there in the TV studio whenever they go worldwide. But this is probably about Marianne Faithfull, who Mick Jagger was dating at the time. And, you know, I guess in the UK at that time, I don't know if it's still the way, I don't want to speak of that, we're in the States, but, you know, your girl, your bird.
Your bird, yeah.
Your bird can sing.
Well, so that's the interpretation I always like to read with it, you know?
That interpretation puts a smile on my face. So that was my number 10.
Well, my number 10 going to be a Harrison tune. I got I Want to Tell You. Paul's bass line here is just fantastic. The I've Got Time harmonies are lovely. And, you know, this is another one that just drips that psychedelia sound. And it's a pleasant tune.
Yeah, I got that a lot higher. But my number nine is She Said, She Said by Mr. Lennon. It really should be He Said, because it's about Peter Fonda. The Beatles get this house in the Hollywood Hills, I do believe, somewhere in Cali, and they're renting it out, and Peter Fonda comes over, and so does David Crosby, I think maybe some other members of the Byrds, and Peter Fonda starts telling him he knows what it feels like to be dead because he was accidentally shot as a child, and it flips him out so much that eventually they ask him to leave. It really tripped out John and George. They had some issues with this song in the studio. It's the only one that was recorded. It took about 9 hours to rehearse and record. It's the last song recorded for the album. John needed one more. John had a hard time writing on this album. Everybody can cover this at the start, but that's how Harrison gets more tunes on this album. But he lays it down. Paul doesn't like it. Paul walks out of the studio, so Paul's not on this one.
Ooh, yeah.
But the story of this just puts a smile on
Oh, yeah. Well, and as we've going through this, I think you see that the inspiration for these songs, the stories, kind of go up a notch compared to some of the other albums we've had.
We're not singing a love tune or putting something out here.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, yeah.
Well, I'll touch on this now because I had it just a couple spots higher. At 7, the interplay between the whole she said and then further on it says I said. It's a captivating storytelling technique. The guitar adds a bit of harshness to the song, underpins a bit of the confusion that's going on. So that's my 7. My number 9 is a bit of an ode to Pot here. We got a McCartney tune, Got to Get You Into My Life. Here, the highlight for me is just the energetic and triumphant horn section that comes in and just the dynamite vocal that McCartney delivers here. And I think it's kind of funny too, because I think on the surface a lot of people probably back in the day read this as a love interest, like, oh, gotta get you into my life.
Yeah, on the surface level, yeah.
And then McCartney comes out and says, nah, this was an ode to Pot, baby. And you know, the whole record kind of has that psychedelia haziness to it at different points that kind of lends to that drug feel, I guess.
Right, we just get to talk the whole time, which is all right with me, because that was your 9, right? That's my 8.
Oh,
so we're already right there. I put on there too. Also, Paul's vocal, but also the drums. Ringo's drumming really stands out on this song. So I'll go ahead and go to number 7. I got For No One from McCartney, which is a great song, obviously. He played clavichord, piano, and bass. Ringo played drums, tambourine, and maracas. And it's another one of those, Lennon and Harrison were not involved in this recording, but it's a great song. I mean, it's number 7. To get to 7 on Revolver,
oh, yeah,
you're really doing well.
Oh, yeah, man. That's great. I'll touch on that later. My number, I think I'm up to 8. I have Love You Too. For me, man, I know this is going to be higher than what a lot of people have this tune in, but I just think that it works so well in the track listing and just the starting 40 seconds that you really, like you said, that feel that Indian instrumentation. Man, you do.
Yeah, and it really ramps up. Yeah,
you know, with the sitar, the tambura, the tabla going in there, really increase those kind of otherworldly philosophical thoughts that we got maybe on Rubber Soul with Think for Yourself. You know, essentially saying, you know, I'll make love to you if you want me to. You gotta, kind of love each other, love the
Right.
tunes type of deal. And it's just one that's always resonated with me. And I know you already covered your number 7. My number 7 was She Said, She Said.
And I think most people do prefer that Harrison, Love You Too over I Want to Tell You. So I think whenever I come across it, I'm in the minority there. But now we're up to number 6 for me. This one was, now we're getting into rarefied air for me, and it was a tough one, but I got to go with Taxman.
Ooh, that was my number 6 as well.
So I actually have I Want to Tell You higher than Taxman on the Harrison. This starts out the album, and it gives you that heavy compression and ADT. You're in for a different kind of sound. And Paul was trying to do a bass sort of based on Motown, and
Paul is actually the guitar solo on this as well, which is notable. Well.
So I guess they were letting George shine and not be distracted. But, the story of it is fantastic, as far as he's just telling the Taxman. This is a good learning experience when we did this. Later on, we came across this with the Stones, with Floyd, with Zep. But, the tax rate in the UK at the time, they were getting taxed 95% of what they made. That's absolutely, I don't care how much money you make. That's a lot of coins. So, yeah, I really did like that. That was a good way to start the album because it lets you know, man, this is going to be different.
Oh, definitely. And I think Ringo's drum beat, yet again, is notable. Yeah, the blistering solo, George's politically inspired lyrics, all those ingredients, man, make a killer opener. So I agree with you there, Dad, as the number 6 tune. My number 5, now we're really getting into the rarefied Tough Air, man. I'm going with another John tune. It's going to be I'm Only Sleeping. So much about this is one that when I first heard it, I remember thinking like, okay, this is like another level here than anything.
It's a totally another level.
I've heard, pretty much the Beatles put out. Man, I love John's yawn effect in there as well, and just the I think it's that ADT with the vocal treatment a little bit. It kind of yet again puts you almost in that dreamlike hazy state, man. That's so infectious.
Well, and it's got that backwards and backmasked guitar that Harrison spent 5 hours in the studio late at night, just him and Martin getting down. My number 5 was I Want to Tell You, so that was my number 5. But my number 4 is I'm Only Sleeping, so I'll cover on. You've done your 5. It's my 4. And I'll tell you the biggest thing on this, probably of my list that I took away, is I can't believe I had to put this song at number 4. This song is freaking awesome, man. Love it. I can't add much else to it. Trey, what is your number 4?
I got For No One, which you already touched on. I think that ending French horn yet again shows the lads experimenting and innovating with pop music here, adding that in, and a bit of an antithesis to another Paul tune on Here, There, and Everywhere, where it shows, you know what, the biting nature of a breakup, and at the end of the day, you don't always get back together and you don't always have a happy ending. So just I think one of Paul's more underrated tunes that he's ever penned for the Beatles.
I'm really surprised you put that over I'm Only Sleeping. That's a surprise of our list so far for me. Well, Trey, we got the same top 3. I'm pretty convinced that we don't have the same number 1, but I think we're right there. So number 3 for me, Tomorrow Never Knows.
Ooh, all right.
This is the first time where, like, they're using the studio as an instrument, but then you get to this song and it's a whole nother.
Oh yeah,
it's a whole nother level, right? There's no way you're replicating this in a concert setting. Just something totally different than anything I had heard from them. The first time I heard it, I'm like, whoa, what is
this is next.
What is going on
next
here?
level? And I love that picture in the studio with Lennon like hanging upside down. So innovative. There's so many different like tape loops and your backwards guitar and just every instrument you can think of.
It's just like pretty much what's on this last song. Let's just do whatever we want to do, and let's just try everything. Let's just keep it all in there. Where did you have that at?
I had that at number 2, actually.
Yeah, so that's what I figured.
Yeah.
So I know what your number 3 is. Go ahead with your number 3.
So my number 3 is going to be Eleanor Rigby right here. The second track on the record, coming in right after Taxman, with yet again that maturity of the Beatles, depicting that loneliness, where Paul of course does that a bit on For No One as well, but here you're telling the story of Father Mackenzie, and I think that biting line at the end about how no one was saved and that Eleanor Rigby and like nobody came to the funeral. Oh man, it's just such a captivating story, and it's just really Paul. It kind of harkens back to yesterday because it's just Paul, and then the string section really, and that string section adds to that melancholic nature of the tune. Just a bona fide Beatles classic.
I agree. And Paul actually won the Grammy in 1966 for Best Vocal Performance on this. And one of the little tidbits on the song, it's the only song where a Beatle doesn't play an instrument.
Oh, that is interesting, man. A little Beatles trivia for you to put up in
So we haven't had to do this. We're all the way to album 7. We hadn't had to do this yet. That's your number 3.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just going to give it away. It's my number 1.
Lovely, man.
My number 2 is Here, There, and Everywhere. Ooh. I knew that would be your number 1. So I kind of let you cover it, but it's a beautiful song, and I really struggled with 1 and 2. Everything else was fine. I mean, I struggle with Tomorrow Never Knows, and I'm Only Sleeping, those two order, but I knew there were going to be 3, 4 in there. These two I really struggled with and went back and forth, and I just had to go with Eleanor Rigby because it was so much different for the number 1. But this song, Here, There, and Everywhere, is so beautiful. I mean, it's unbelievable.
No, man, and my number 2, which I said, Tomorrow Never Knows, which is one last thing I want to add on that. Got to shout out Ringo's hypnotic drum beat on that tune, and just what an otherworldly track that still holds up to this day. But yes, my number 1, Here, There, and Everywhere, man. My opinion, best love song ever written, man.
Well, Lennon told McCartney it was the best song on Revolver, so that's high praise that he gave him that.
Dude.
So, I mean, you got to kind of sit back and think, wow, Lennon thought this was the best tune on here, and you got those tri-harmonies. It took them 3 days to get right on here. They really messed with Paul's voice on here. I mean, it's so beautiful, man.
And kind of like She Said, where it plays with the she and I. Here, I like the way it plays with the time, like here, there, everywhere. The way it just kind of expands on that in the lyricism, and just is such a pure song of love and affection, and one that is yet again timeless, with one of Paul's best vocal performances, I think, and a melody that is so gorgeous, and man, one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, no argument on that. I already said my number 1 is Eleanor Rigby, but it'll help you when you got to put them up where our numbers are, because we're a little bit different on this one. So as we go into kind of the retrospective review, I haven't listened to this album in a long time. Not like this. It's different, guys, when you listen to it like this. If you just listen to headphones, you're chilling, you're vibing, that's great. When you listen to it this with more of a critical, analytical ear, you notice a lot more things. I rated this a 10 when we first listened to it, and named it my number 1 album of all time, and I'm still there.
No, man, it's still a 10 for me. It's in my top 3 albums of all time,
it's
man.
Tremendous.
It's just one that I could listen to every day, and I think that I still wouldn't get tired of it,
the songs are so consistent, right? Even the ones that we had ranked lower, they all, because we know the stories behind them, so it all kind of brings a smile to your face. So it's just fantastic.
Well, and many of the tracks are quite short as well, where they leave you wanting more, which is probably better than going on too long or whatever the case.
Problem. Yeah, you're exactly right.
And so many different styles on here. I think the sequencing of this album is just near perfect.
Yes, and it hasn't been on the last few. We discussed on the last few reviews about opening and closing tracks and opening a side 2 and weird things. They got it right on this one for sure.
So just an unbelievable record. Who's your MVP for this album, man?
This is the first one where all of a sudden they've got even on this one. They've got dead even on this one. Do I have to pick one, or can I say they're even?
I'm going with my dude, Paul McCartney, man.
You're saying Paul took over the lead.
I think that he, between Eleanor Rigby, Here, There, and Everywhere, and For No One, and Got to Get You Into My Life, I
guess I'm going to go with you on that. You're right, by that much. It ain't going to be by that much in the near future here, but by that much on this one, I guess we'll go Paul MVP. I'll agree with you there.
Man, but just what a great time. I'm always down to discuss one of my favorite albums of all time.
For sure.
And of course, we want to hear your list down below.
Share them with us.
Be sure to let us know. And as always, Dad, appreciate it. And the journey ain't done yet, because as we're about to hit this era.
Let's talk to these guys right here.
Sgt. Pepper's coming up next. That's yet again going to be a tough task.
It's going to be fantastic, man.
But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for checking this video out. Be sure to hit that big red subscribe button and give a thumbs up if you like what you see. And until next time, thanks for watching, happy listening, and we will see ya.